Sumner County School Board meeting, and then we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Evans, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball. So we do welcome you tonight. First item on the agenda, we have roll call. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman's not here. We do have quorum.
Yes, we have a quorum because we have 6. We have some traveling and some with family members, one in particular that in recovery. So the next item on the agenda is the adoption of the regular agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that's been adopted. The next item is adoption of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Thank you, that passes. Next item on the agenda, the consideration of minutes. That's from our regular meeting in June the 16th. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay, thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Breen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes. The next item on the agenda is the recognition and hearing of delegates. We do have folks that are signed up tonight. And I've got these in the order I have here. So when I call your name, you have 5 minutes to speak. And we thank you for being involved in the process and using your voice. So the first one I have on my sheet is Bob. Last name, pronounce it for me. Fretch. Fretch. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. My name is Bob Fretch. I am a retired teacher from Station Camp High School, retired in 22. I taught government and civics, some economics, and I was the cross-country coach and the track and field assistant coach for many, many years. And I just wanted to come tonight and thank the board, Dr. Langford, our county commissioners, taxpayers of Sumner County, for all the support that y'all have given track and field here recently. Of course, Liberty Creek was built and has a nice track. Station Camp's track, we just completed our first season. Gallatin's is almost finished, and I think Beaches is on the drawing board there. So we're kind of catching up to a lot of the counties around the Metro Nashville area, and I wanted to thank y'all for that. I just want to give you a little report. This past year, we hosted 10 middle school meets, and all throughout those meets, 70 different middle schools were represented, and over 4,000 student athletes were there and participating. High school, we hosted 6 meets, and 50 different schools in those meets, and over 2,500 student athletes. And those schools came from the Crossville, Jamestown area, all the way over to the Hickman County, Clarksville area, and the northern border down to Lawrenceburg and Winchester, Fayetteville area, and all points in between. So hopefully those folks dropped a little tax money when they visited our restaurants and things here. So I think y'all made a good investment. And then I want to brag just a little bit, with a nice facility to practice in. The Station Camp girls team brought home the state championship, the state team championship, and the boys brought home the state runner-up, which was a big surprise and upset. They had a great meet, and it was just too heavy for me to carry both of them. So thank y'all again very, very much. I want to come in person and thank you for all your support and what you're doing. Appreciate it.
So hang on, Mr. Fretz.
Thank you, sir.
So if you know Coach Fretz, you know he is kind of like the father of Sumner County Track and Field. And much of what we have accomplished, and what I appreciate about him, one is you always want, when you have coaches, you want them to help develop young men and women, and he's done that for decades and in powerful ways. But I think too, the second thing is he wasn't just about Station Camp track. He wanted he wanted track to expand all over the county for all kids. Even like this year, I know Dr. Woods called me one night because Portland High School had worked with Station Camp, and they set a school record on the pole vault. I think it was like 7.5 feet. But you got to start somewhere. But I can remember, I think it was 2015. His son Jason is assistant principal at Gallatin High School. They came to visit me up at White House High School to talk about what we could do for tracks. And I'm like you, Coach. It's exciting to see that we're starting to bring that vision to fruition. So I'm thankful that for all those years and years and years that y'all invested and poured into developing track that we're getting to see. And I think a cool thing when I got to spend some time that day with the Station Camp track athletes is how many of them are advancing on into college to run and compete. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Langford. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, our next public comments is Andy Thorpe. Did I pronounce that right?
You did, yeah.
Thorpe, thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Hello, my name's Andy Thorpe. I have 3 kids that play lacrosse here in Sumner County for the Spartans. As you can see, we have a lot of support here. You're going to hear from my son later, who took action through the proper channels, who was intimidated and ignored about this subject in Sumner County, right? The Spartans, before the school year ended, started a petition. They wanted to do something local schools and leaders never did. They wanted to ask the students if they wanted lacrosse in their schools. Over 700 students responded with signatures supporting lacrosse. When the petition was being shared, my son got called into the principal's office after sending an email to request a meeting to talk about this respectfully. He was called in minutes later. The principal wanted to shut down any organized activity towards growing lacrosse. Teachers were told not to sign the petition, and were told to ignore it. When my son went in there, he felt intimidated. I don't know how you would have felt if that happened to your son or daughter, when they have the guts to speak up, rather than be encouraged to exercise their First Amendment rights. They were shut down. I'll have to tell you, I was mad about that. I thought this would have went somewhere. It didn't. So you have to ask yourself, why are we here? Why would the Spartans want to play in local school sports when the club has been very successful? This club has been competitive with current championship caliber teams in the state of Tennessee. Well, in 2024, when TSSAA sanctioned lacrosse, 51 club programs in this state were existed. 50 counties adopted lacrosse programs. The one county that did not is our county, Sumner County. And you have to ask yourself why. So our club has no teams to play in the state of Tennessee. None. Because of what happens. And because we're not sanctioned. Because we're not here, right? We travel to Evansville, Indiana. We travel to Hoover, Alabama to play games. We have nobody. We're left with, and we are a competitive club of student athletes here that have skill. And we can't play anybody, right? So when we've gone to local principals, athletic directors, they've ignored us since 2024, since the moment we had a chance to push this. They've ignored us the whole time. We've been left with no option but to show up here, asking for your help, right? This group of supporters behind me is not going away. We're gonna be here until we can get support. We need your support to get lacrosse to become a school sport in Sumner County. And I pray you make the interests of the Sumner County student athletes your top priority. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Thorpe. Next is Nicole, is it Dickerson? Yes.
So I was ready to speak for 2 minutes, so I can go slower now.
You can speak. You got 5 minutes.
Yeah, perfect. So good evening and thank you for giving us this opportunity. My name is Nicole, and like many of you, I believe that it's our responsibility as parents to advocate for our children and give them every opportunity to succeed. You might hear some extra information that was previously said, but I still feel like it needs to be heard. So my son Julian and his teammates have worked for years to earn the chance to play lacrosse for their school and even at the collegiate level. But during recent college visits, when we ask coaches what's holding these local recruits back, we get the exact same answer every time. They play for a they play for a club team instead of their high school. Varsity status carries weight for recruiting that club play simply cannot match. And that obstacle isn't a lack of commitment from our athletes, it's simply that our district hasn't made varsity lacrosse an option for them. Neighboring counties offer even more extracurriculars than we do, yet every high school found room for lacrosse because they recognize it as a premier college scholarship path. Because the local infrastructure already exists through the club, this isn't a ground-up build, it's simply a formal administrative shift. Since the 2023 decision to sanction lacrosse, as previously mentioned, Sumner County is the only county in Middle Tennessee with an existing club program that did not make that shift to the schools. Public schools like Page and Nolensville and Ravenwood made that shift, and we used to play them, but now we can't. Instead, again, we're traveling to Indiana, Kentucky, Alabama, and Georgia. We're playing ranked championship caliber teams, and we're beating them. And the most frustrating part is that our athletes are showing up, they're putting in the work, and they're winning against these top tier programs out of state, yet aren't even eligible to compete for a Tennessee State Championship. To be clear, we're not here to pull kids away from existing spring sports. We're here for our current players and for the students who haven't found their fit in any of the other extracurriculars offered across our district. We want lacrosse to be an option for them. Neighboring districts have proved that adding lacrosse does not cannibalize other programs. In fact, surrounding counties adding lacrosse saw a zero drop-off in football or soccer. Their total athletic participation actually rose by bridging that spring gap for fall and winter sports. The talent is already here in Sumner County. Even as a club and under that model, the Hendersonville Spartans has won championships and been completely successful. To keep our top student athletes from transferring to private schools or moving to neighboring counties, we must offer them some varsity opportunities, or the same varsity opportunities, You haven't even, well, not you, the board, but the county hasn't even given lacrosse a chance to succeed or fail. They decided there was no interest, and as you can see, that simply is not true. So we aren't asking for special treatment. We're just asking you to give these students the varsity opportunity that they have earned. So please help us and say yes for lacrosse. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dickerson. Next is Justin Fox.
Good evening, members of the school board. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Justin Fox. I'm the defensive coordinator for the high school boys lacrosse team. For me, lacrosse was never just a sport in my life. It was the opportunity that changed my life. Playing lacrosse opened doors that I never would have had otherwise, gave me the chance to attend college, and because of the opportunities it created, I was able to graduate debt-free with a master's degree. That alone changed the path of my future, but the impact went far beyond earning the degree. Lacrosse taught me discipline, accountability, leadership, and perseverance. It helped mold me into the man I am today and put me on the right path to succeed as a young adult. The relations I built through the sport also had a lasting impact. The connections I made through lacrosse helped me get my first internship. That internship eventually landed me a successful career that I have today. Looking back, I can honestly say without lacrosse, I would not be where I am today. That's why I'm asking you to consider this opportunity and what it can mean for the students in our county. There are young men and women in Sumner County who deserve the same chance to grow, compete, earn college opportunities, and build relationships that can shape the rest of their lives. Mr. Langford, you just mentioned a great point on the success that the track and field has had from adding the sport to Sumner County and the state championship that they were able to bring. Last season, or 2 seasons ago, the state championship winner for Tennessee, we smoked by 8 points. That could have been a state championship in one of your schools. Sanctioning high school lacrosse isn't just about adding another sport, it's about investing in students and giving them another pathway to success. I fought the same fight in my county growing up when I was in high school, and I'm standing here today because someone gave me that opportunity. I hope you'll give the next generation of students in Sumner County that same chance. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. This is pale handwriting. Is it Clint Harrison? Yes.
Good evening, y'all. Thank you for having us. We appreciate the opportunity. My name is Clint Harrison. I have my son Levi as a rising senior at Liberty Creek High School. He's played for the Spartans and for the Nashville Sonics, which is a travel program, for the past 5 years. During the past 5 years, we've traveled to North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Indiana, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia, and Delaware to play lacrosse against some of the best competition in the country. During these tournaments, he got exposure, and because of the exposure he got at these tournaments, he now has offers from colleges in Illinois, North Carolina, Georgia, and Mississippi. But he's constantly handicapped because he does not have any high school stats or any high school film to share with those coaches. Lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in the country. And like was previously said, Sumner County is the only county in the state that had an existing program that didn't sanction the sport in the county. Our question is why? So that's all that I have. Again, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Next is Hayden Latham.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Hayden Latham. I am here today not only to advocate for school-sponsored lacrosse in Sumner County, but also to share what it means to be a Hendersonville Spartan and how this program impacts young people in our community. As a former Spartan player and current head coach of the Hendersonville Middle School boys lacrosse team, I have witnessed firsthand the value that this sport and this program brings to students. I grew up in Hendersonville and was introduced to lacrosse in the 4th grade by my older brother. I immediately fell in love with the game because of the unique challenge and the competitiveness and the team-centered culture. By 8th grade, about 2016, 2017, I had the opportunity to play with the Spartans high school team. At that time, the program was still young, and we often had to practice wherever there was space, even including the outfields of baseball fields at Drakes Creek Park. We traveled wherever we could to find competition and worked tirelessly to prove that our program deserved recognition and support. Those experiences shaped me not only as an athlete, but as a person. They taught me discipline, accountability, leadership, and resiliency. Unfortunately, the lack of school support for lacrosse influenced my decision to leave the Spartans and attend JP2, where I could pursue the sport that I loved. While I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity, not everyone does. This past year, I had the privilege of returning to coach the middle school team. I saw the same passion and dedication that existed when I was a player. These young athletes are working hard, building character, creating friendships, and representing the community with pride. Today, our program faces many of the same challenges it faced years ago, despite repeatedly demonstrating its value and legitimacy. Lacrosse is no longer a niche sport. It's growing across Tennessee It's growing across the country, and our students deserve the same opportunities as their peers. I'm asking you to support school-sponsored lacrosse so that future Spartans can pursue their passion, represent their school, and continue building the program that strengthens our community. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Latham. Next is Grace Brunner.
Good evening. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for allowing us to come back with more support. My name is Grace Brunner. I am currently a high school girls lacrosse coach. I have been an assistant coach, and I was also a former player back in 2020. I moved here from Indiana, where lacrosse was a bit more well known, and when I had moved here, it was a shock to me that it was not in schools. Whether it was competitive or if it was just a club, they did not know what I was talking about. And I found the Spartans, and I was very fortunate to do that. I have been involved with the Spartans for the last 6, almost 7 years now, and we have been on the go trying to find a way to get it into schools. Lacrosse has made a huge impact in my life, and I know for my girls and for the boys, of course, it makes a huge impact on them. The downside is that it is hard to get recognized through colleges and just other adult leagues if it is not in schools. My coaches would tell me when I was a Spartan that I had great potential, but because I was not seen in a school, I could not play in college. They said I was a good leader, a strong advocate, and they knew that I loved the game, which is what many of you guys here do as well. But because it was not in school, there was no hope to play in college, and there was no hope for anything else. My hope is that you get to see that these kids are showing you that we have grown and that we love the sport, and that we are hoping for an opportunity to have it in schools. We have talked about it for years, and we are hoping that since you have allowed us to come back and you see our community right here, that we're able to prove to you that we can do this in schools. I want to give my current high school girls and the guys an opportunity to get recognized for college and to get recognized as a whole and continue to grow in the sport. And we can't do that if we are not in schools. So we are hoping that you see tonight through the community and through what the rest of the folks will say, and give us that opportunity to come in and prove that we have earned a spot to play in schools. If we can get it sanctioned, it will continue to grow. It has grown in the last 10 years, but it has definitely grown in the last 6 years, and we won't stop here. We're going to continue to fight and to continue to show you that we can make this into a reality. And we're asking for your support here to help us. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Brunner. Up next is Troy. Is it Sakis? Sakis?
Yeah, that's correct, Sakis.
Yeah.
You got it the second time.
I got it right the second. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'd like to say thank you guys for having us all here. We appreciate a forum to actually speak. It's been difficult through times to be able to get an answer, talk to people. So my name is Troy Sakis. I have 3 children who have attended or did attend Sumner County schools. I have 2 in high school right now, an upcoming freshman and junior, and 1 who graduated last year. All multi-sport athletes, from golf to football to wrestling to lacrosse, which brings us here tonight. I do have some stats I'd like to read. First, I'd like to start by saying, like the gentleman started off the meeting, I know it was talked about earlier, that's a great point you made by these kids having an ability to get college opportunities, get looks from colleges, because a lot of these kids, I think there's been 9 years in a row, we've had one or multiple children come out of this program and get college, or be able to play in a college level, whether that's D1, D2, D3. Every year we've been able to have kids come out of this program, come out of lacrosse, and be able to go to college. Back to the stats. Sumner County, as you guys all know, is ranked 8th in population in the state of Tennessee. There's 20 counties in the state of Tennessee who have lacrosse programs. So there's 12 smaller counties in the state of Tennessee who have been able to make this happen. And like we talked about earlier, we kind of just want to know why. Like, they found solutions, they found money, they found coaches, they found everything they needed to do to be able to make this a possibility. And we're kind of lost as of why it's not happening. It's one of the fastest growing sports in the country. It's not going away. I know it's us right now up here, this group of parents, but it's just going to be the next group of parents, the next group of parents. It's not going to slow down. It's going to keep happening, and we just want to give these kids an opportunity. So I'd like to thank you for your time, and that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Next is Claire Thorpe. You must be the daughter.
Yes. Hi, my name is Claire Thorpe. I'm a rising 6th grader and I'm on the middle school girls Spartans lacrosse team. I love the sport and making friends on my team, but it makes me sad to think that I'll be able to play in middle school, but I have no chance to play in high school if Sumner County refuses to sanction lacrosse. I'm up here to ask you to support students like myself who would love to play lacrosse for their high school team one day. Thank you for your time.
Well done, Claire. Next, Trevor, the family, Thorpe. You're?
Hello, my name's Trevor Thorpe and I'm a rising 11th grader. I've been trying to advocate for the past few years to bring lacrosse to our high schools. I have followed the proper channels to communicate with the administration of my school. I emailed the principal to try and get a scheduled meeting about this to discuss it in a professional manner. Instead, I got called into the principal's office 3 minutes after sending this email. I feel like this is an unprofessional move meant to intimidate and discourage me. However, I didn't give up and had to email 3 more times to finally get a meeting set up. In the meeting, it became clear that this was never an option being considered in the first place. Despite all the facts that are being brought up throughout this meeting, as a student, I have felt unheard and disrespected. I feel like I have the right, like other students, to be able to represent my school playing lacrosse. I hope that this evidence presented here tonight further solidifies why Sumner County needs to sanction lacrosse. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. The last one, I believe, Grant Hancock.
Thank you, and I just want to say that I've made friends and there's a bunch of opportunities I've gained through lacrosse. Thank you for your time.
Good job, The relationships and opportunities, they're priceless. Thank you all for using your voice tonight. And I really appreciate the students. It takes a lot to get up here and speak. I know you were speaking from your heart, so thank you. Now, the next item on the agenda. Unfortunately, we have matters involving council, so we're going to have an executive session, not something that we look forward to. If any of you want to stick around, there are restrooms out in the foyer here if you need to go, but we'll be back after the executive session. So thank you. Hang it in there. With us, the next item on the agenda is a report from Dr. Langford, our superintendent.
Okay. Let me roll really quickly, and I will share information that I think several of you have asked for updates on, and I will go as quickly as I can. Happy to answer any questions. First off, in terms of celebrations, our Andy Brown was named the Tennessee Plant Manager of the Year. We're very excited about that.
Yeah.
Kelly Flood won 2 national awards for stories she prepared this year, and we'll bring them in at another meeting, but I just wanted to go ahead because before we get too far down the road. And our own Frankie Skinner moved into being a finalist for Supervisor of the Year for the state of Tennessee. So we're very excited about that as well.
Yay.
And so those are big celebrations because that shows the wonderful people that we have. And as Coach Fretz showed, we win a lot of state championships. You know, we had boys soccer, we had girls flag football in the state championship, state runner-up from Merrill Hyde. Coach Hollis over there that's out of town this week, but Coach Hollis is the leading girls flag football coach. We're very excited about all that. Start of school is just around the bend. I wanted to give you a little bit of a SPED playground update. So we have 2 special education playgrounds. I would like, in case everybody has a question, I'd like to clarify a couple things. Like, we did not delay construction of special education playgrounds. If you remember from the start, we talked about how we wanted to put together a comprehensive plan. So we brought in an architecture firm. We did a lot of studying to see where students are so that we could build playgrounds where they were most needed, with the understanding that sometimes families move out, sometimes families move in, and that will impact the needs of our different schools. And so Station Camp Elementary and Gene Brown Elementary were the 2 that were determined to be where to start. So we have a ship date because we approved this. You know, it had to go through because this was a mix of Sumner County School Board or Sumner County Schools and Sumner County. It was a combination of funds from both. So that means that it has to go through us and them in terms of purchasing and everything like that. That takes a little bit of time. I think they moved it through pretty quickly. But then we have to order it because I assure you, contractors do not do work until they get paid. And that's very wise on their part because they have to spend a significant money right up on front on ordering materials, things like that. So we are looking at a ship date for Station Camp Elementary of August 13th and a ship date for Gene Brown Elementary of 8/17. So, you know, shipping is much quicker than it was a couple years ago, but as soon as it gets here, we'll be able to give you kind of a little bit better of a timeline on when they'll be able to break ground. Some of that will depend on, you know, obviously the size of the playground, how it impacts the kids that are in school there. But as soon as we know that information, we'll be able to, we'll work with the contractor and kind of get more spelled out dates. We're excited. We've got Whitten, our next special education playground. It's our accessible playground. We have it on the agenda tonight for you to vote on. Happy to discuss that when we get to that on the agenda. And then we also have, after quite a bit of study, we had a unanimous recommendation from our committee for first choice in architect. And we could certainly talk about that when we get there. I will point out, because this is something like it's always, I think it's the first question I've always had whenever we've employed an architect. The way that state law works is you have to choose the architect and then we negotiate fees. So you can't bid the price of professional services. So what will happen is if you agree with the committee and approve this architect, then we will enter into negotiations on what their fees would look like. And then we would bring that back, obviously, for a board vote. So that's a little bit of a difference than the way you would think it would work, but that's state law. And so we will obviously abide by that. That's really what I have in my report for tonight. Obviously I got some stuff to weigh in on a little bit later as we move down the agenda. So for the sake of time, I'll yield back to you, Ms. Hazel.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't have a presentation tonight, Jeremy. Just missing you around. We had an addition to the calendar. We had an addition to the agenda. And so we're going to take this up in the first item under new business is going to be the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Langford, do you want to get us started?
We'll probably do a motion in a second.
Oh,
I'll make a motion to approve the revised calendar for the 2026-2027 school year.
and do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Lacy. Yeah, I'm focused on the information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a communication that will go out in the next hour or so to parents, and this will start a long stream of upcoming communications with parents and families and staff in Sumner County Schools. All right, on July 20th, yesterday, Sumner County Schools became aware, Sumner County Schools became aware of unauthorized access into our network. We promptly notified local and federal law enforcement and the Department of Education. This included the TBI, the FBI, Homeland Security, local law enforcement. All have been great. We contacted the Tennessee Department of Education and we engaged third-party forensic specialists to investigate and respond to this matter. Please understand that our team is diligently working around the clock to minimize the impact to schools and overall operations. I'd like to give a big shout out to Chris Brown and his team. They've truly been working around the clock to help us identify and move forward and recover. This will impact our school calendar in the following ways. We are looking to revise our board-approved calendar, and that's what you have here. It's on the board agenda. Okay, and I'll be happy, let me go through all this and then I'll be happy to take any questions. New student registration, originally scheduled for tomorrow, has been postponed to August 4th and 5th. Student registration nights have also been moved to August 4th and 5th and will include new student registration. Schools will communicate details to their families for registration nights in the next week. And we will share further information with our community as soon as it becomes available. What I would like to encourage, we really need to approve the changes to the calendar so that we can get that to the Department of Education to be approved, and so we can start to communicate. Communication is a little bit of a challenge now. We're going to work hard to get that out as quickly and as widely and expansively as we can. I believe that trust is a huge deal, and that requires transparency. And so we want to communicate as quickly and as transparently as possible about everything, but we also have to share factual information. And to share factual information, we have to work with our third-party experts to make sure that the information that we are providing is timely and accurate. And so I would expect a lot of communication over the next week or two as we share what's happening. My recommendation is to, basically what we're doing, if you look at this calendar, is we are sliding everything back a week. I would ask you to notice one thing so that we can cut down on people with trips planned and everything over Christmas break. There is a day on there, an admin day on December 27th. That is not going to be, let me say that again, that is a day that is flexed, okay, where teachers do stuff after school throughout the school year. So it's not going to be like nobody's got to come back on December 27th to work. That's a day that's spread out over over the semester.
I don't think that's the right one. The 27th
What's that?
is Sunday.
I'm sorry, July 27th.
I was going to show you.
Okay, let's rewind that.
It's a lot.
Mr. Cruz, can you edit that out of the Facebook Live, please? All right.
It's been a stressful couple of days.
Been up about 33 hours in the last 48, so
Yeah.
let me wind that back.
July.
That makes a whole lot more sense. Okay, July 27th,
Which is always a work day.
as we like to call that, July 27th, or Christmas in July. That's the only real change on the calendar, and that's a move to make sure our payroll moves in the way it does, so everybody gets the pay that they've earned. So, what's that? First day of school will be August 10th instead of August 4th. So, we were going to have 2 days that first week because Thursday's election day, and then Friday we were off. We'll just slide that back to Monday, and that gives us the time. To, do all the things that we need to do to get ready for school to open back up.
Dr. Langford, would you share how this will be communicated out starting this evening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so communications will start slow and we'll pick up in how widespread we're able to push it out over the next week or two. But after we vote tonight, we will send this out in every available way that we can through our messaging system. We'll put it on Facebook. And then I would encourage everybody to share it as broadly and widely. Our schools will put it on their social media as quickly as possible. We will have a principal meeting, principal, assistant principal, central office, everybody together tomorrow, and we'll communicate everything. And we'll have to just kind of, in the short term, we'll have to kind of crowdsource our communication to the best of our ability to get it out. Realize that it's inconvenient for everybody. I'm deeply sorry. We're going to move as quickly and as thoroughly as we can. So I would encourage, this is something that everybody can help communicate. If we approve this calendar, then it would be great as soon as we all leave if we all share that, and we will post it as an image on social media so that it can be shared easily. And then we'll put language in there that can be shared out also, like to try to explain it. I think an important thing is it's going to be hard for the next couple of days to communicate directly with the school. So please don't, and when phones and everything come back on, please don't bombard them with calls because they're going to try to get everything. So schools will put out information about specific times for registration, for new student registration. They'll put those out as soon as we're able. We've got some alignment work to do tomorrow, and then just trying to figure out the best way to do that. And we will share that with y'all as well.
Yes, Mr. Evans.
As a soon-to-be kindergarten parent, what does phase-in look like then?
We will run it that first week. We'll do AB days. I think we'll get some communication out about that.
Start on Monday. Yeah, we'll do communication.
The 10th.
Start on, yes. The phase will start on instead of that previous.
Yeah. Okay. My second comment. Obviously, moving to 10th is not the problem. I think I just kind of feel we have a lot of single parent teachers that now we're having to require them another week for really 3 days of probably, not only childcare, but my guess is since these days are mandatory, what do we have contingency wise? Where something happens and I'm a parent and I'm also a teacher and I can't find childcare, I'm not, not written up. There's nothing I want to make sure that we protect because we're having to change this, we should be able to protect our teachers too.
So being a child that started his life on his third day of life, at Hendersonville High School and spending most every day there for the remainder of my time. Usually schools are very welcoming, friendly environments to kids, and I mean, every school I've ever been in takes care of it internally.
Correct. I'm just making sure that that's
Yeah.
clear to teachers that while it's not ideal, they
Right.
are allowed to bring their kids to the school.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
If any of you high school students babysit, we can have a sign-up list at the back.
I can tell you the least disappointed group of starting school on August 10th.
Exactly, raise your hand if you're disappointed. You get a whole week, so go plan a trip. I'm so sorry, this is really stressful, but we gotta keep a sense of humor about it all. Any other comments, questions? Yes, Ms.
Just
Ms.
clarifying,
Green.
part of the challenge is we don't have communication the way that we would normally expect. And any questions, comments, concerns should be directed to,
Me.
thank you.
Yeah. Robert.Langford@sumnerschools.org, Robert.Langford@sumnerk12.net, or Facebook, whatever else you need. Like, we're gonna try to communicate however we can. And we will put out factual information, transparent information as quickly as we can.
With contact information.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So the only other question I have was
Yes,
about
sir, Mr.
Union Elementary, because we put it on a different schedule. Does this change their schedule?
So the Union calendar, Union, because they were getting ready to start, they already did their registration on this. So like tonight, they're finishing their registration. Union, they don't have buses. It's a choice school. They don't have new students. So they're going to be able, they also have a calendar that's unique and different from our summer schools calendar. They're going to be able, I talked to Mr. Taylor today, school calendars seem like they would be easy to change, but they are not. There's a lot of permutations that go into that. Mr. Yon and his team, which if you've ever talked to Jeff Yon, he is the guru of calendars, along with Ms. Stewart and Ms. Sawyer and Ms. Collins. And yeah, there's the guru. But they spent a couple hours this morning and they could not come up with a good scenario that beat just keeping the same schedule. And so, there's enough stuff going on the first couple days in elementary school life that they'll be able to function without, if we don't have internet connectivity. We did it for a long time in human history, so we can survive a couple days.
But parents are still being able to communicate with the school. I mean, they're not going to be able to direct directly with the school, but is there some type of contingency?
We'll just have to see.
Okay.
But we will figure it out. I mean, the union community is very communicative, strong relationship, strong communication with the principal.
Thank you. Not something we planned on, but we're gonna get through this. So I'm gonna need a motion.
Is there a motion to approve the calendar?
We already did it.
A motion to approve, got it. So all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Okay, all the day. Next item on the agenda is a discussion and/or action regarding offering lacrosse as a sport in high schools. And the discussion of this item was deferred from the June meeting, referred during the June meeting, so that we would address it here. Do I have a motion for the discussion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Comments, questions, discussion? Yes, Ms. Brady.
I want to start by thanking our parents and students who came and shared. I'm excited to hear that we've got students with college opportunities. I'm excited to see the passion that you guys have. Thank you for spending your time up here and sharing that with us. I will also say that the role of the school board is specifically not day-to-day operations of the school. And deciding for a principal or a school what sports they offer is very specifically not on the role of the school board. I just got to do that training again last month. So we don't have an action to take for this conversation, because it is not something that we can or should be deciding.
Thank you, Ms. Brennan. Any other comments, questions? Yes, Kat.
And I agree with Megan. I just took the same class because we have to, but the decision for this should be on the schools. And I understand the parents. I had children that played specific sports too, but within that boundary, those principals and staff need to understand, coaches need to understand that they have that opportunity to do that within their schools. And if they don't have the interest for each school, and I did a little bit of research on lacrosse. I don't know very much about it, but there's a certain number of children that have to be on a team, plus you have to have extras to fill in for relief or whatever they call that, to put in substitution. But I feel the same way. It needs to be at the school level, not at the board level.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart. Mr. Evans.
So I probably have a unique, I've talked to a lot of you probably at some point. I have an oddly unique background with lacrosse. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm 6 feet tall. When I was a senior in high school, I weighed all of 135 pounds. A wide receiver and DB for football, but my body type would have been great for lacrosse, like just being real. And I learned that when I got to Chattanooga, when I was spending time there in grad school. I had to work directly with the Baylor School as a wide receiver coach, and a lot of my players played lacrosse. When I spent 5 years at Vanderbilt. I'll just say this because there's a lot of context here. I spent 5 years at Vanderbilt directly overseeing the women's and men's club lacrosse teams, and was the direct liaison for the varsity women's team. So I do have a very extensive background with lacrosse. And 5 years with the Parks Department, working directly with Greg Mitchell. We hosted a really large lacrosse tournament every year in the park system. I met with Jake. Leo Greeley his wife is one of my best friends growing up, so know a lot about y'all, know a lot of the history, have a lot of context to this. My frustration overall, I think you guys are frustrated too, I get it. Like you said, you can come up here and whine. I think everybody's handled this poorly, including us. I think all around, and I'm not saying it's just students, it's not the parents, I think the whole thing has been gone about the wrong way. And my frustration personally was, I took a lot of time last fall to meet with Jake to try to figure out what was going on. Stuff was getting shared on Facebook that was not necessarily the conversations that we were happening. And I mean, there have been emails from our AD, the principals, and even Scott that directly were we're not pursuing this. I don't think that there's been a lot of collaboration to try to find a path forward and to try to find a solution. But there's been some sentiment that there's not been communication. Well, I've read those emails. It was just that it was told no. And I understand no is tough and you don't want to hear that. But at the same time, my frustration from a club level perspective, I don't know, are we allowed to, is Jake here?
He's on a work trip.
The whole point of me deferring this a month was to give time. Obviously, a lot of you came. That was why I deferred it last month, because I wanted you to be able to come and speak tonight, and I'm glad that happened. I'm frustrated that we asked certain questions. We asked for rosters. Rosters were not provided. No, we're not a full one. We don't have how many. My frustration is this: from the information that I've gathered, there are 5 schools represented with this team. We can't field a team with 5 teams. There's no scenario of doing a 5-school co-op. So you're going to have to pick 2 or 3. That is going to not allow kids from some schools to play, per the information that we were provided. I have a problem with that. So my issue, and this is what we've been trying to say from the get-go, there have been, from what I understand, and a couple of you have said this, the students did go to the principals to ask for interest meetings. What I don't understand and so what I'm allowed to do is I'm allowed to ask the director to do something about this. I cannot make a principal do anything tonight. That's not, I'm against doing that. I can ask you, my frustration, what it is if a group of students go to a principal and have the interest and there's enough viability and we have the team that would be ready to play, anything like that, realistically trying to make that happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks, given the information that we just gave out, that's just not realistic for this fall. I know you guys play in the spring, I know, but there's still a bunch of things you have to register this fall. Like, I do know that there's a lot of things from a budgetary standpoint. We would have to hire a coach, and your principal, the principal would actually be the one to pick the coach. So it's not the club team that just moves over and decides the club gets to be that coach. So I can go ahead and tell you that. I do think that if, at the same time, while I don't think it's super reasonable, I think right now my solution would be that the students, if the students present themselves to the principal and show that they have enough for a team, that my suggestion and what I would hope to see is that we do our part at that point that shows that they're ready to move forward. But what I don't understand is right now that's not happened individually at a school. It's spread out over multiple schools.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Evans, I would say, like, I want to be careful because, you know, we have over 4,000 athletes in high school. So our kids are playing a lot of sports. So I want to be careful because I would argue that our principals are not opposed to sports. I think our principals are trying to gauge what's possible and what there's interest for. But I agree with you on this. I think, to me, I'll say this is what my frustration is, and I feel some of the same frustration I think that the parents do, is that I wish that the TSSAA had come in with, I can't remember, they have a term like experimental or whatever else, where it doesn't kill the club, where you can still get games in Tennessee and things like that, where you're not, because basically so many of the teams are in Williamson County in this area, plus a couple in Rutherford. But when you take them off being able to play and we don't have a sanctioned sport in Sumner County, then that's when they have to travel all over the place.
But even that term, the term that, and this is what's been super frustrating with phone calls I've had with a lot of you, the sport is sanctioned. It's a sanctioned sport by the state and TSSAA. We do not sanction a sport. Right. In the history of Sumner County schools, has the school board sanctioned a sport?
No, but what I was saying is...
But this is the problem, that we keep getting told that we're the ones not sanctioning it. The school board, we've never sanctioned a sport.
Right, and I explained this in my presentation last month.
I don't understand what we're still arguing about. Us sanctioning a sport when we've never sanctioned a sport and we don't have the jurisdiction to sanction a sport.
Right, because the TSSAA is the members of schools. I do think, though, what is fair is the TSSAA created a process that made it hard to build, because I would argue, when I look at the numbers, we did not get rosters with student names. We did get a number count. And so what you said is absolutely correct. Like, you would have to, if you look at most of the rosters in Tennessee of schools that have lacrosse, you've got somewhere around, usually teams that are viable and competitive are usually 20 to 22 kids. You would have to put together 3 or 4 schools you have to put 3 schools together to get to 20. I don't see the numbers in middle school yet. I think what we need, and this is what I have said from the very first moment that we've talked about lacrosse, is, because this is what Williamson County did, we need feeder programs in elementary and middle school to build the number of kids that are playing. And I think that's where you see, like, if you look at the number of kids that are playing flag football, the number of kids that are playing soccer and volleyball, it starts younger, especially for a sport that requires a lot of skill.
Do we have an opportunity to
Yeah, right. That is not accurate information whatsoever. So I'm going to ask you this.
You're not allowed.
Girls flag football, did you do the exact
Yes,
same
ma'am.
thing to them?
But
Did
you're
you
not
ask
allowed
them
to
for
speak
rosters?
during the
Did you
meeting.
ask them to do some
This
stuff?
is speaking.
Did you ask them to go forward with other things?
You're
You
out
did
of
not
order.
do that either.
No. I wish you had come up and spoken during public comments. Just to keep the running of the business meeting, we have to keep it among. We can address and discuss and debate and disagree and agree on the board. But you're getting to attend a business meeting. I know you want to do a lot more things than being here, but you are being allowed in a public space to attend a business meeting. But we appreciate you speaking during public
That's required
comments.
because it's a public entity, so yes.
And so, go ahead, you finish and then I'm gonna.
Outside lacrosse, what we have is and you talk about feeder program, anything like this, we have a growing, the reason why my frustration about, I mean, like I said, I think we've handled it poorly too. Like, I think just sending no in an email doesn't really solve anything either. That's not going to ever satisfy, the culture that we live in, and from a customer service standpoint, we should try to figure out some way forward. But my problem and what I see coming very, very soon is, and we had this happen at a middle school baseball team already, we have a growing junior programs across the county that are not sanctioned sports by the state or TSSA or TMSAA, who are claiming to be junior Buccaneers or junior Panthers, using our logos, using our colors, using our facilities, but we don't have any jurisdiction over who their coaches are, background checks, their finances. And so, I mean, really, personally, I'm working on a policy that would actually, there would just gotta be some guidelines for that.
Yeah.
And I think that this would fall very similarly with that, because then you're not the Spartans anymore. You become whatever that school is, using their logos, using their jurisdictions, and following under our rules. Lacrosse started my junior year of high school. We became a club team at Hendersonville. A lot of the guys from hockey and rugby basically formed the first club team. I always thought it was really fun to go watch them, because really just a bunch of guys that played rugby and hockey just decided to go just hit people, and it was fun and entertaining. So when I talk about legacy, I remember that, and I still think about those guys and going to watch them play at Memorial Park, and I think it's really cool. So all that to say, I think there's no way we should sit up here and say yes or no. I think what's frustrating, and parents, please, I don't care if you not even want. I think that there has been information given to y'all that was just not accurate about how this process should have gone. And I think that if we handled it poorly, that's fine. You can walk out, that's fine. I'm saying that I think things were handled poorly all around. And I think moving forward for any club team, for that matter, not just lacrosse, there needs to be better guidelines and procedures, because this should have never have happened. This should have been dealt with 6-7 months ago. I don't say that better. But this should have been dealt with. I can't believe we even had to have them at this meeting. I'm thankful for you here, especially students come to talk. But I'm super frustrated that we're even having to deal with this, because it should have never been brought to us. And really for something for us to sit here and talk about. So moving forward, I would hope that this doesn't happen again.
I 100% agree with you on the club teams using logos and things like that. It's been a problem for a concern for a long time. And I think I think that you said earlier, Ms. Rhodes, I will absolutely talk to our high school principals if there's interest in that numbers. Well, because I mean, I think you will see if the numbers are there, our principals would offer the sport.
Could you tell us what the process is? I know you said the process.
Who is that speaking?
I mean, I think students, I don't care, I'll say them. I think the students need to go to the students. You basically have a group, you go to the student, you go to the principal. You should have that type of numbers. Like right now, they're saying it's a group of students, but I mean, the reality from looking at the rosters, it's spread across 4 or 5 schools. That doesn't back up what we're being told. The roster doesn't match.
Do you need every school to have it?
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Well,
just gavel it down.
No, the way the resolution was written and presented to us was that we were going to encourage all of our principals to add the sport. There is no way every school could add the sport. So the way it's written, the resolution, I can't support that. I cannot make every school encourage every principal to do this, because it's not a reality at every school.
Mr. Lacey?
We could make a motion to change the wording if the wording is the issue.
The wording of.
Well, we don't have the resolution in front of us on the computer, but like I said, we could make a motion if we wanted to change it. We could.
I'm not even sure what resolution.
We're
Yes,
talking
Mr.
about
Johnson.
passing
So
a
the
resolution
motion that's on the
encouraging-
floor, is what's on the agenda, which is
Yes.
motion to approve offering lacrosse as a sport in high schools.
That's our motion.
It's not a resolution that I'm aware of.
Like I said,
I haven't seen.
Well, I would be in support of it. We're not demanding anything. We're encouraging. And we were elected to represent people. It's in our purview to be their voice on the board.
I agree.
We're not demanding anything. I would vote for it. We're not demanding the director to do anything. We're not demanding principals that they have to do something. But if there's a need in the community, in that specific community, Hendersonville Beach, wherever it may be, it would be great if we could do that. And then you guys that are out in the audience, if you don't like what you see here tonight, maybe you could run for school board one day, because we need people that represent you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lacy. May I, before you want to go ahead and speak, Mr. Evans? I want to rewind a minute. I don't want to put you on the spot, but Ms. Brady, from the class you attended, what is the 30,000-foot view of what do we do on the school board?
We create policy. We are Dr. Langford's boss, the school superintendent's boss, and we are responsible for the budget. Those are the three key things that the school board does. It does not, it very specifically says that we do not interfere in the day-to-day operations of the school.
So, it is extremely frustrating that this has gone on this long. Read the emails. I went back and tried to find where our AD, Dr. Sarver, had sent out, where he had sat down and met with parents. We as a board cannot vote yes and have the principals say, we want principals to offer this in their schools. We want you to hire coaches. We want you to do this. It's not in my purview. It's not in my job description to do that. Can we encourage? And have I asked questions? Yes. It's extremely frustrating. I'm a visual, tactile learner. I want to see where the bottleneck, I want to see where where it just shuts down. You all have communicated, then we get an email from Dr. Sarver or Dr. Langford as a wrap up of a meeting. What is the glitch? What is the problem? Is it the feeder schools? Do we not have enough participation to bring it to the high school level? The feeder school is on y'all. Are you expecting the feeder schools to be on us? To then provide we gotta have something to support the sport. So what are you feeding into this high school team? Do you want the school system to foot that bill? Because it does cost money to hire these coaches, uniforms, equipment. I have heard it said and expressed, personnel to support it, that our assistant principals or a principal has to travel with the team. They've got to be at an away game, they've got to be at home games, and they're already spread to all these different things. It is extremely frustrating. I want to say lacrosse for you, lacrosse for you. I want to say yes, but it's not in my job description. I can't vote for this, for our schools to do this.
We're not asking you to vote for it. We're asking for why the principals will not return. Sorry, why will you not return by
Ma'am,
That's what we're
you
asking.
can set up a meeting with Dr. Sarver.
He won't return. Sawyer will return.
All right.
Sarver won't return it.
Then I want to see a meeting, and I want a report. I want to know that there was a meeting going on, you have to attend it. And then I want to report back to the school board of what happened with that meeting. And please set a path forward.
Absolutely.
I want to see steps. I want to see what you got to do next. The next step, until this comes to fruition. I want to see a map, and I want to see a plan. All right, we've done that. All right, we've done that. All right, we've done that.
We can do that. We can do that.
Well, then-
We can communicate that. There are bottlenecks. We can communicate all that.
This
So
board-
It's the only form we've had to communicate to anybody in this county. This is our only form we have.
And this board greatly encourages the path forward, whatever that might look like. Come back and show us. I want to see step 1, step 2, step 3, to give you all,
only bringing it to you.
to give you all a goal, to give you a goal. All right, we've done this.
So what's the point of bringing it?
We've done all of that, and we totally understand.
And you understand that we can't vote on that tonight.
But it is.
Point of order.
You're not asking for people to do it, but I
Point of order.
Ms. Brady, I want you all to feel like, excuse me, I'm speaking. I want you all to feel like that you have been heard. And we appreciate you attending this meeting. We just cannot. I can't override the principals.
I think what the people really want is a simple checklist. I don't know about anyone else
I would
here, but
love
I
to
know for
see-
a fact no one else here has made the team.
I would love to
Point
see.
of
I would
order.
love for a
Point
list
of
from
order.
y'all
We're
saying
out of
step
order.
A, step B,
We
step C.
are out of
Because
order.
we don't know what to do.
Sir, and
We're
that is,
stuck.
We are out
There's
of
only so many
order.
decisions
My-
we can shoot from.
my-
And we've been doing
my,
it for 4 years now. Can't just keep taking it.
it's out of, I don't have to meeting for that.
A point
Ms.
of order,
Brady,
you're not the
We're
chair.
gonna take a vote. Mr. Lacy, have anything else to say?
If you vote yes, will that allow the principals to then?
Mr. Johnson, how would we, say yes or no on this?
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve offering lacrosse as a sport in high school. A yes vote would approve offering a sport in, lacrosse as a sport in high school. A no vote would be against it.
Could we see what we would be voting on the screen? Is there any way possible?
So, because we are having internet issues,
I know, it's
we are
still-
limited in our capacity to send stuff out.
So, Mr. Lacy, it says, this was the discussion or action regarding offering lacrosse as a sport in high schools. So that's where we sit tonight. And as of right now, it's not that we don't want to offer it.
So basically, we need an action. So could I make a motion that we make a resolution that we encourage the schools that have the quantity of students to play to do so
And what time frame are we talking about?
as soon as possible?
Are we amending the motion? You're making an amendment to the original motion that we encourage.
We encourage, we don't demand, we encourage the schools that have the proper amount of students to play to get a team as soon as possible.
That's not realistic. They do have this team. If you encourage it, you are making, if that's encouraging, if a principal says no to it, then you're just throwing the principals to the wolves. And I'm not talking about the ones that are here represented. I'm talking about the other schools that are not represented here today. If all of a sudden Portland or White House decides that there's a kid, one or two kids at those schools that want to play, and they go to that principal, and that principal says no, we're throwing them and setting them up for the wolves. I agree that we should add, I don't really, at this point, I agree that we need to add the sport. But I also think that realistically, when we've got the issues that we have going on, these next 14 days, 14 to 21 days, there is logistically and legitimately some things that cannot physically and electronically happen. Like, and I hate it for the seniors. I do think that we need to find a path for next year, 1,000%. I just do not see how all of a sudden we're going to be able to force anything to happen in the next 2-3 weeks. And that's what you're asking.
But what if we can't?
No, you can't. You can't though, because it would be a school. It would be a school sport at that point. With the issues that we have going on, there is legitimately things that we can't send and do right now.
Okay, but the issues have
So,
been around since 2020.
I'm not. I hate that. I hate that.
I
It's a
really
reality right now.
appreciate y'all.
It's a reality right now.
It's been a reality.
I should have never entertained out here. Because my job is to keep order. So, do I need a second?
Just curious how this is.
So, Mr. Lacy, do I have a second to Mr. Lacy's? Okay, without a second, we're gonna go back to the original motion. And that is the action that we're gonna need to take right now. So, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. So just to remind everybody, the motion on the floor is motion to approve offering lacrosse as a sport in high schools. A yes vote is to approve, a no vote is to deny. And with that, Ms. Tucker. Mr. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Brennan.
No.
Ms. Stewart.
No.
Ms. Barnes.
No.
Ms. Hayes.
Mr. Lacy,
Mr. Lacy.
what was that?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
And that would be for this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Second half.
You didn't say this year. Can you please repeat it? It's encouraging.
Yes, I encourage that we all. So whatever steps that needs to take to make this happen, I'd like a report back to hear what progress we're making in seeing that this is offered.
Okay,
You all are aware we got to have the numbers, and there needs to be clear communication. Dr. Sarver? Yes, sir.
So just to note, the motion did fail 4-3. Take 6 votes to pass a motion. So.
Well, we are going to encourage, so you all heard that. Did you hear Mr. Johnson? So it failed. We're going to encourage that steps are being taken. There's a path forward to get this in our schools for our students. So thank you all. Okay, the next item on the agenda is discussion and or action regarding regarding recommended teacher dismissal. Mr. Johnson, do you want to give?
Move to approve the director's recommendation.
So much for the students, right, guys? What do I pay your salary for?
Let's just wait a second.
Where's our clock?
I don't know where the security person is tonight.
Sorry, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Okay, so I'll restate that. Under new business, discussion and or action regarding recommended teacher dismissal. Ms. Brennan, did you have?
I move to approve the director's recommendation.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I'd like to say something.
Yes, yes, sorry.
Like I said, I don't know enough about this incident to vote for it. I would like more information. I would like to know more than what we were given. So for that, I will not be voting. I'll be abstaining from this vote. Because I feel like this is something extremely serious that we are doing.
Yes.
We are wrecking somebody's life. And I would just, for my peace of mind, I would like way more information.
Afterwards, you can speak to get more information if you'd like. Dr. Langford. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstain.
Abstain.
All right, the third item, a discussion or action regarding proposed inclusive playground at George Whitten Elementary. Director recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? All right, that passes. Number 4, discussion or action regarding proposed architectural firm selection. Director recommends approval and selection of Goodwin Mills, Kaywood, as the board's architectural firm.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, sir. Second? Ms. Brenning, any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Oh, I have a.
Aye. Opposed? That passes. Number 5, discussion or action regarding policy 4.215, instructional use of digital devices, K through 5, upon first reading. So the director recommends approval of this policy
Move to approve.
and waiving the second reading.
Move to approve and waive the second reading.
And second, do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes. Next one, discussion or action regarding policy 6.4053, outside applied behavior analysis therapy upon first reading. And the director recommends approval of this draft policy prepared by our attorney, Mr. Presnell, and Ms. Arabiat. And waive the second reading if that's
Move to approve and waive the second reading.
a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Lacy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes. Discussion or action granting easement on Rucker Stewart Middle School property for the city of Gallatin for natural gas utility relocation. And the director does recommend approval. Do I have a motion or a motion to approve?
Motion to.
Second, thank you. All in favor say aye. Oh, you have a question, excuse me.
Yeah, I just was hoping, Dr. Langford, can you give us just a little bit more detailed information on this one?
The Rucker Stewart.
Mr. Johnson, do you know about this?
It's just a utility easement. The city of Gallatin is relocating a gas line and they need an easement for it.
And no concerns, it's not in the way of any of our, great.
So it's actually technically on the Rucker Stewart property. What it actually is the upper edge. It's like a vacant lot that is right up on the corner. So it's actually not on the school property other than technically it is on the school property.
Gotcha. So, any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. We have unfinished business, and that's a discussion regarding our Student Advisory Council, which is policy 1.1021, upon second reading. And Ms. Brenning has submitted the revised policy for the board's consideration. Any discussion, comments, or to have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to move this to our next meeting where we have all of us here to discuss it, and maybe our system would be working better.
Where
we can see it on our.
I know, it's frozen, nothing's working. Ms. Brennan, you have a comment?
I had moved to approve.
You move it, I agree. All in favor say aye.
For moving it to the next.
Yes.
No, I moved to
Oh.
approve the policy.
To approve the policy.
Well, wouldn't we have to vote on that?
Well, I
Okay,
it's
so-
up to her who talked first, but I'm pretty sure I jumped in.
Mr. Lacy wants to move it to the next one.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Do I have a second on that? We want to discuss it tonight, okay. For lack of a second, Ms. Brennan,
Move to approve.
move to approve. Do I have a second? Have you all even seen the revised?
I looked at it.
My email's been working.
So a clarification question, is the motion to approve it in its current form or the revision?
The revision.
The revised? Mm-hmm.
So I just have a question about, so
What's the revised? If we can't see it, what are we
Right.
voting on?
It's out on Friday. Yeah.
It was out on Friday, okay.
Yeah, and
it's in your email.
But we're supposed to be able to look at it on the computer
Do
screen.
you have your
You can
phone?
access it on your phone right now.
I'm gonna look at it on my phone while I'm doing this,
Well, I
okay.
mean, typically you
I
would
brought my
look
bifocals
at it.
with me.
Can you see it? Can you see what's revised?
And I got what this.
You,
one-
okay, great.
That's what I printed from the.
Give it a quick look.
Can I ask a quick
Are you-
question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Sorry. Because I feel like this is new, do we, Mr. Presnell, with something like this, would we be able to edit this policy? I mean, I'm sure any policy we can obviously make amendments along the way.
Yes.
But with something with a student, I feel like adding something new like this, we have the legal ability within this confines to change requirements of what we're asking of this board along the way, right?
You pass this meeting, this policy, you can certainly amend it at a later date.
Okay. I feel like we're just gonna, I feel like we need a starting point. We can learn from it. There's gonna be things we're gonna have to change. I want to make sure that we have the ability to change what that looks like.
You do, okay.
I'll just add the revision for
Yes.
like the recap
Give us a brief.
purpose
Mhm.
is we've been talking about this policy for nearly a year now, and the original documents that I wrote were more of they were intended to be the description of how this could work. I have revised the wording to be more policy centered, the way that we have typical policy written, so that it allows for the director, based on the guidelines that we put together, or that I put together originally, to create this this advisory committee. It gives all the feedback, kind of represents the feedback we've seen so far in past discussions, and just shortens that policy into a tight policy, allowing this council to sit under Dr. Langford or his director that he would appoint to the policy, and keeps the guidelines as guidelines, but not the policy itself.
And that is good with you? That we report to you and your, okay, good.
Yeah, and I think that what we'll do, what'll be interesting about it is once we get started, to Mr. Evans' point, we can get feedback from students, and
Yes.
I think, knowing Ms. Brennick, she'd love to hear student voice, but we need to get something rolling so we can get students started. And even I think it'd be the excitement that we saw with the kids that went to Nashville last year,
Mhm.
to be able to get them connected into something like that as well would be good.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
That's
Ms.
more
Barnes.
for Dr. Langford, and I think you asked Ms. Hayes to this, did he agree with it? Do we have the support from the administrators, the schools?
Yeah.
Because I know it's an extra lift for them.
Yeah, I think that usually, it's just like if you look at the number of our kids that are participating in athletes or sports in high school, it's 4,000. And that's not even touching band, chorus. We don't have a single high school principal that's not encouraging kids to participate in everything that they can. And so I think that they will always, Mr. Gilliland's there, we got a couple that are here, and that's not Mr. Glasgow's back in the back. They're usually, Mr. Lovett, Dr. Lovett right there, they're usually encouraging kids, and we'll figure out the logistics of it. And we have so many different, the advantage we have now is we can get folks together more through Zoom and things like that, if we don't physically get together. But seeing kids, I would say that one of the most amazing parts about the Innovation Center is seeing kids come from around the county and get together to work.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Brand, for putting it together to start with.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Lacy.
Thank you, Chair. Under the selection process, I know this has got reworded, and I guess there's two policies that were, and you picked the resolution, or the revisor. And is that the one that reads, a selection panel of staff from each high school will review applicants with attention to community representation? So will that high school pick their representative the way this is worded, or would that be from every high school in a group will pick each student from?
Ms. Brand.
The way that this is worded, this allows Dr. Langford to work with the principals to determine that.
Well,
Whatever
I
works
guess I would like to
for
see it.
their.
If we want a true representation of the local school, I would like to, I would like Westmoreland to be able to pick who they want to represent them. Is that how, the way it's written, will that allow that? It's up to the principal who he or she picks to represent.
I think because what the school's gonna have to check, Mr. Lacy, is they're gonna have to check their schedule, because you may have the ideal kid and he or she is like, I'm taking 3 AP classes this semester and I'm working after school, I can't do it right now. Typically, our principals will talk directly with the kids, and I think that to Mr. Evans and Ms. Brennan's point earlier, I think you'll see some evolution, so that we're not, I think it's good to cast the net wide first to kind of get kids, and then we'll figure out, we'll learn, just like everything else, we'll learn and think about, how we do it. But yeah, I think, I don't know of another way to do it, Mr. Lacy, except communicating with the school leadership. And, some principals will delegate it to a guidance counselor. Some schools have a leadership team in place, and that's the thing, it's a little different, because in some schools they'll have a leadership class, and in their school will be student council, and another might be beta, where the student leaders are, and that principal will know that, and they'll pull from that.
Well, I would just like it to be clear, where I really believe it's the local, if you really want a local representation of that community should pick it, not somebody from Hendersonville or White House. But if it's for Westmoreland, somebody from Westmoreland should pick who they want to represent them. So I would make a motion to scratch out that a selection panel of staff, that whole sentence, and replace it with a panel consisting of the principal and teacher from each high school will review the applications and select the student who best represents their community. If I could have a second.
Ms. Breen, does that change up the directive of this
Do
policy?
you mean in the policy or the guidelines?
This right here, under the
he's looking at
section process, and then on the second page, that second.
Because we're not
dash.
able to all see that.
Yeah, so the policy itself doesn't actually say that. The policy, would it be helpful if I read the policy? Would it be helpful if I read the policy?
If you what?
Read the policy?
What? Would this not be policy?
Well, what you're referencing is in the guidelines. The guidelines are guidelines. They're not like set in stone. Yeah, they're a suggestion.
What means?
And so that feedback would be what you would give to Dr. Langford, right?
I can only see what I have in front of me.
I think the intent of this is that it is organic. It is within each school community. They get to, that principal, they get to choose their student, but it does have to coordinate with that student's schedule, their availability. Our high schools have many great leaders that could step into that position. But yeah, it would definitely get the blessing of the principal. If it's the guidance, I know they do a lot of scheduling, those people. Now, however they choose to, we're not going to give a directive if they're elected or are they popular vote or they,
The line for administration is specifically the director of schools shall develop administrative procedures governing the committee's membership, selection process, meeting schedule, officer elections, responsibilities, and operations. So that would be feedback that you would give.
I think the way that I would look at it is the guidelines, like if I'm a principal and the board wants me to, this is a leadership team created by the school board, I think the principal want to know like what was the board's intent in who they should be looking for, because you're going to have, at each of our high schools, you're going to have 50 to 100 kids that would, the hard part's going to be picking one. And so I think just having some guidelines from the board, and I would say like one of the things that personally, if you're asking me that I like is that it's not, sometimes we get too prescriptive, because sometimes you have a kid that needs a shot to be a leader, but they don't have a 3.9 GPA.
Right.
But they really move the needle at the school, and I like giving the principals the autonomy to be able to do that. I think we're kind of saying the same thing.
And a reminder that policy like this, if it's state law, we can't change any of that, but we can tweak it, offer changes, adapt to how this progresses. But at least we've got a starting point. But I understand your intent, and I think all of us, we want this to be an organic within the school. They make the decision on that student. We help with the operational structural part of the logistics, meeting times, adult supervision with this group. So, thank you. So, do I have a motion to get started with this policy? And Ms. Breen has made the motion. Do I have a second?
There's a motion, second.
A second on the floor. All in favor say aye. 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 Opposed?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, did I skip anything? My glasses on.
No, ma'am.
Discussion of the study items.
So we do have a number of things that we'll be talking about on the study items. In August, we will have a returning study session. I do think one of the things that we just did in this motion that we wanted to discuss with the school board is our study session is now going to be on registration night. And so, is that right? Yeah, we moved it to the 4th. So our next study session is August 4th. That will be on registration night. And we will keep it on registration night if that is not an issue from the school board. If it is,
I'll just be late.
Okay.
I
I'm
will
gonna,
also
yeah,
be
I'm gonna go register my daughter.
I could probably get there early.
Yeah, you need to do that.
Yeah, and if you guys are comfortable with that, we'll just keep moving on.
Okay.
One of the things Mr. Lancaster suggested, looking at a board calendar about things, we'll have that on the study session to kind of talk through and see what we want in there, what we don't want in there, and then we'll have some other things. So, but just wanted to note that will be on the first night of registration. So
August 4th at 6 p.m. That's going to stay. Okay. Comments from the board? Mr. Lacy?
No comment.
Okay. Ms. Barnes?
just a quick comment around, I know in light of what happened, that it'll be a stressful and very busy next few weeks for the staff and the school. So anywhere that we can support, let us know. And maybe it's just with snacks and coffees. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Jordan.
Yeah, patience. I don't want the parents to give up. I want them to fight. I'm with you, Tammy, Ms. Hayes, that if they come back with what we need to help encourage them or support them or whatever, I'm all about that too. I know they want their children to play, and I want them to play too. It's important to them. It's something they've done all their life, so don't stop fighting. We'll back you if we can, but there's some things we can't do.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart. Ms. Brandon.
I know for everyone, teachers, parents, staff, it is going to be a little bit chaotic over the next couple of weeks, and I just thank everybody for your grace as we start the school year off in a little different way than we had originally planned, and wishing everybody just a really excellent first day of school and back to school despite the challenges that we're pulling together to get through.
Mr. Evans.
Yeah. I mean, that was tough. I know that we haven't had a meeting like that where parents kind of taught that. And I know that that's not always how these meetings should go. But at the same time, like, people can be frustrated here, but like we talked, we engaged, like, and sometimes personally, I feel like there's so many times we sit up here and we can't do that. I know that there's a lot of rules and regulations. I'm not saying we're trying to break that, but I sense that, I feel the frustration. I do think that there's a lot of there's a lot of gaps, and I know there'd be some follow-ups here, but I want to make it very clear. I don't think that we should ever tell anybody something specific they have to do. One of my best mentors I ever had, I remember I felt overwhelmed my freshman year of college, and he was like, I said, I have to go to this, I have to go to this. And he goes, no, you get to do that because you chose to. A lot of this is like choosing to do certain things, so you get to do them. I think, like I said, there's so many things in the behind the scenes that are going on with different club sports, not even just this one, but I know men's volleyball is coming very soon. Don't be surprised if that doesn't get added by TWSAA this year. You see a lot going on with TMSAA, the middle school. So I think we should be prepared for that, and I think Ron will be. I think Dr. Sharper has a hold on that. I just think we could do a better job of helping support him to make sure it doesn't get to this point. I think this was totally unnecessary. And I hated that it happened. So I can sorry for my frustration a little bit. I just feel like I felt so bad for the parents because there's really no solution. There isn't. They were told no. They didn't like it. Multiple times they're told no. They didn't like it. I think people were giving them very false information that was putting us in a position that, again, this word sanctioning, not sanctioning, was never true. Like and so it was super frustrating. Just to sit up here and we're just pitting ourselves against each other for no reason. And that, I think, is a waste of our time as a school board member. It's a waste of my time. This should have been handled, like I said, months ago. So I think we'll do better. I think we can be better. Like I said earlier, I feel for the parents and the grandparents and the single parents that are going to have to change their schedules. I know that's a small thing, but I mean, it's not. I mean, I know how we're having to deal with it even with our family. I mean, we all have jobs. A lot of us, we have a lot of families that have two people that are working. Having to change this stuff on the fly is not super easy. I know it's just a reality, and in a weird way, we're kind of all in this together. But I do want to. I just feel like I feel bad that I feel negative walking out of here, and it's blah like this feel. So I'm going to leave with this. It's a quote from Dr. Alan Grant. Mr. Hammond, after careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your part. And rest in peace, Sam Neill. So, good luck with school, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Ms. Tucker.
I was very fortunate that our youngest son got to play high school ball and college ball, and it helped with tuition as he got into college, so I know how important that is to everyone. And even as a parent, it was important to us too. So hopefully we can get through this and do the best we can. So everybody have a good school year.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. I express frustration tonight, so forgive me for allowing the meeting to get too much out of order there. They really wanted to be heard. I felt like we gave them the opportunity to be heard. But we all know we're policy driven. We don't get into the nuts and bolts of telling what a principal and a school to do. I'm hopeful that we'll see some forward progress, a pathway that both sides can understand and know this is what we've got to do to even get to being looked at a school level. So we've received all those emails, and yeah, we felt our hands are tied. We can't make those decisions. We live in a great country where we have the freedom to be able to come and to speak. Whenever there is that first game that is at Hendersonville High School, the Commandos, I'll make sure I'm attending. I'm attending that lacrosse game. So just know that we are praying for this staff, administration, the frustration, just to be blindsided by this. So we're going to get through this, and we ask that the parents, our community, be patient and understanding as we navigate. This is a first. So I've served on the board 12 years, and I'll soon be wrapping it up. You know, when I thought that a school rezone was the most difficult thing you could actually face, oh no, COVID comes along. Then when I thought COVID was the most horrible thing, people are yelling and screaming from the right and the left, mask or no mask, and you know, just what are we gonna do? This staff got together and we had a pathway forward and got our kids back in school by August. School closed down in March. Unbelievable work, unbelievable work. Hard, but we did it. So when I thought it couldn't get any worse than COVID, we had months and months of book banning, which just were so very difficult, so very challenging to get through. There again, you're hearing from all sides, and we get to hear from you. That goes with our job. We get to hear from you. And then we're just minding our own business, and we get so learning a lot in and through this, but we'll be praying. Just know that we're praying for y'all, and anything we can do to help encourage, but everybody be patient and understanding, and we're going to get their kids back in school and get it going. So I thank you for being here tonight. Y'all have a blessed week. Bye-bye. This meeting is so adjourned, as Tim says.